before we start this session that is organized by IE University in Spain. It is one of the top universities, ranked very highly across multiple Financial Times rankings and different spaces as well. Great. I think we've got 180 plus people, and you can look at the chat where they're coming in from: Chhattisgarh, Navi Mumbai, Ernakulam in Kerala. So basically, from the length and breadth of the country, welcome everyone who has joined in. Close to 200 odd people. I'm going to take this opportunity right now to quickly make a very brief introduction of Professor Jaime, who's going to be taking us through this wonderful masterclass and also going to be launching a business case competition. Do remember, the winner of this business case competition gets 100% scholarship to the IE Summer School, which is happening in July, and they also get a chance to win scholarships to study at various master's program at IE University. IE University again is based in Madrid, one of the most vibrant cities all across Europe. We have Professor Jaime and his just a little bit of Professor Jaime. He has developed his career in FMCG and the pharma sectors, and for the last 2 decades he's been involved in product development, research and development, consumer behavior, market research, marketing at companies like Procter and Gamble and Johnson and Johnson. Now his passion truly lies in understanding consumer behavior.
Did we just lose him?
I think we did. I think some network issues. So I'm going to just take over for a bit. I'm going to come in. So Sharang was doing introduction for Professor Jaime. I'm going to let him come back and do that in more in detail. But in the meanwhile, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to run a poll very quickly, right? I'm going to gauge the audience interest. I'm going to understand if you're really looking to do the summer school in Madrid, Spain or not. So I'm going to quickly launch a poll on your screens now. So those of you who are still with me and who have joined us, so we have around 250 attendees in the room right now. You can see the poll live on your screen right now. The poll question is, are you interested? Firstly, are you keen to visit Spain? Are you interested in going to the country Spain? I'm sure those of you who are from India who have seen this movie Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara are extremely keen to go there. So I'm quite confident about that. So if you're keen to visit Spain, click yes. If you're undecided, you're like, hey, I'm indifferent about going there or not. So maybe if you're not interested, then click no. I would be massively surprised if there are a lot of people clicking no, because that's a country that I've been to, I've loved it, and I would love to go again. If Namita allows me to re-participate in this competition, I would surely want to participate and go to Madrid, Spain. It's amongst my favorite countries in the world. The second poll question, which is live on your screen right now, is whether you'd be participating in the IE Seed case study competition or not. So the competition which Professor Jaime is launching today, are you looking to participate in that case competition or not? That's the second question. Again, the options are yes, maybe, or no. If you're very keen to participate, click yes. If you're undecided, indifferent, you want to get more information before you take that decision, then it's maybe. If you're like, sure, you don't want to participate in this competition, click no. Again, I would be massively surprised if that happens. As I said, I'm personally very keen to go back to Spain. It's a very beautiful country, very beautiful city to be. And if I were in this place, I would surely want to participate in the competition. Unfortunately, I'm not eligible, but you guys are. So surely do give us your responses. I see around 185 people have responded. So 72% of the participants have already responded. I'm going to leave this poll on for another 10 seconds. So if you haven't responded, this is your opportunity. Do respond to the poll, and we'll be ending the poll very shortly. So, okay, close to 195 responses. Let's see if we touch 200. Another 3 seconds to go. If you haven't responded, please do respond. And with that, I am going to end the poll now and show the results as well. Great. So the results are live on the screen right now. 199 people responded to this, out of which 84% are keen on visiting Spain. As I guessed, you surely should be. And out of the people who responded, around 83% are keen or sure about participating in the case study competition today. With that, Sharang is back with us. I'm going to hand it over to him to complete Professor Jaime's introduction and take the session ahead. Over to you, Sharang.
Thank you, thank you. I'm sorry about my laptop. It's not being the best, well behaved today. Anyway, so what I was saying about Professor Jaime, apart from his work in the industry at companies like P&G and Johnson & Johnson, he's also has served as the academic director of the Masters in Market Research and Consumer Behavior program at IE University. It's part of the marketing and communications domain. So he is a professor of the Masters in Market Research and Consumer Behavior. And he also teaches several bachelor's programs, master's programs, and executive programs. Professor Jaime, it's a pleasure to have you here today. There are 270 plus participants waiting to hear from you about this wonderful masterclass that you have planned for us. And also, they're keen to know a little bit about the business case competition. So over to you. The stage is yours, Professor Jaime.
Thanks a lot, Sharang and C team, for this introduction. It's a pleasure to be here. So I'm going to start my master challenge. So if you just can confirm that you can see my screen and that everything is working smoothly.
Yes, we can.
Okay. So we are going to be covering, you already introduced me, so no need for going here. But yes, Procter & Gamble and Johnson & Johnson. Today, I'm going to be acting more as a Procter & Gamble alumni, as a former employee, because we're going to be asking about a case. And we're going to be starting with some introduction about what's marketing. And later on, we're going to apply it to this specific challenge where Procter & Gamble needs your help. Okay. I think that you have access to the chat. So if in any moment there's any question or anything not clear, let me know. And also we are securing some time at the end of the masterclass for questions. Okay, this first part is going to be like a masterclass, like a normal class at the IE University. And the case is going to be about marketing. And we are having amazing number of participants, 285. I'm sure that we're having some marketing experts there. I'm sure that we're having some people that doesn't have a clue. So I'm going to start with the basics about marketing, which is the science of exploring, creating, and delivering value to a specific market to generate profit. Okay, here there are critical things: the value, which is going to be the value proposition at the end, and also target marketing, which is going to be selecting and segmentation. The process that we normally do for marketing, it's about, and you have a couple of academic propositions there, is first you normally start for understanding the context. You understand the competitors, you understand the consumers, you understand the partners, you understand a little bit the context. And then you start working on a strategy and then using the marketing mix in order to define the final tactics. Then you execute and you control and measure so you can come back. This is more or less what the journey. And the journey of a marketing plan, a proposal for a marketing activity, it starts with the who. Okay, that's always the first strategic question. We don't start thinking about what we want to say or how we are going to say it. We always start with the who. Because if I ask you out of the 290 people, why you want to go to Madrid for academic purposes, you can imagine that there's going to be plenty of different reasons there and plenty of different motivations, personalities. So the first thing when you are going to try to develop a marketing activity is to understand who. And because we are different, we need to segment and identify a target group. So out of the people that you see in the slide, who is going to be your target? Because your products, your services, your communication might be totally different depending on who you want to target. Normally, we segment people based on geography. That's how big companies do it. Demographic, socio-demographic, age, gender, in some cases they are working or they are not working. Psychographic, it's about what you like, what you think, your preferences. A lot of the attitudinal aspects are going to be here. And finally, behavior. We segment people based on what they do. This is very easy in the digital marketing. Why do you think that we use behavioral segmentations for digital marketing activities? Do you have an idea? in the past. Okay. Hey, a lot of ideas there. To target users based on behavior, how people are reacting, very good points. Personalization, Moksha is pointing about one of the critical reasons. Yes, we're talking about vehicles already, SEO, emotional connects, habits to create user profile, different mindsets, emotions. We're talking a lot about emotions. You are bringing very valid perspectives. But the real explanation on top of what you're saying is that now we can, because of data, no? Because of all the behaviors that we can collect online. It's very difficult to understand behaviors offline. Those tests are expensive and it's difficult to measure what you do in real life. But it's very easy to understand and measure what you are doing in an online context. Okay, so that's why behavioral is getting a very popular segmentation technique. Thanks a lot for amazing participation, and you said very relevant things. So this is typically one of the top questions because you're going to have a lot of options for segmenting. Procter & Gamble normally segments on need basis, okay? Needs. So you need to go back about what is the motivation, what is the need, so that you can segment them. Once you're clear about the who, once you're clear about your segment, then you need to talk about value proposition, which is going to be expecting how the P&G product, for instance, is solving the problem, the benefits that you can expect, and why they should select Procter & Gamble products versus the rest. And this, of course, value proposition plays, as many of you were saying, in the emotional benefit area. It's not only giving reasons, but also the emotional connection. Okay. So this is the second stage of the strategy. So first we segment, then we define the what. And of course, then we need to communicate. No, we need to develop activate the execution. To activate the execution, you need to select the 4 P's of marketing: product, price, place, and promotion. That's going to be critical because you need to define those tactic elements of your proposal in the marketing plan. It's going to be which product you're going to communicate, at which price, where you're going to be selling it, and also the overall communication strategy. And for that, you need to work with funnels. No? And in the past, we were working in the communication funnels. We are working with this AIDA moment, which puts a lot of focus on first, you need to build the attention, then the interest, desire, and action. And in the promotion part, how do you do that? There's many different vehicles. Some of you were suggesting SEO in the previous chat. Some of you were mentioning other channels. So this is a macro perspective on the different channels to communicate. You can use your own channel, own media. Imagine your website. You can put a message in your website. You can pay for it, advertisement, but also you can earn media, which is word of mouth or impacts that you're getting from other people, like could be tweets, reviews, recommendations, something that we're going to be covered in a minute. Because, hey, we need to win in these uncertain times, know how to develop that strategy. And for that, I'm going to be telling you 6 critical things to drive a successful strategy, which might be able to help you for your challenge. I'm going to cover them describe them in a brief way, because I think that might be able to help you. And then we're going to be explaining about this challenge, okay? Because we told you that there's a sponsorship, that you might get some prizes, but you still don't know what you need to do. So I will describe that in a minute. The first trend is attention economy. Brands and companies struggle a lot to get the attention of their target audience, because in the past, everything was about getting the money with the value proposition. But now it's about getting the attention. And the attention is very difficult because it's limited. I don't want to ask, but out of the 342 people, many of you are not paying a lot of attention to the masterclass. Some of you, I'm sure you are, but some of you are not, because we have a lot of demands for our attention. You might be doing some other things. You might be preparing something else at work or preparing another exam. So it's difficult to get the attention from your target audience, because when we are consuming media, for instance, we don't pay attention to the TV. That's the new reality of people consuming media in the world. People are watching at the same time the mobile phones. People are watching at the same time a laptop. People are paying attention to a tablet. This is the new reality. So if you want to impact with a communication in that primary TV, you can imagine how difficult this is going to be. Double and triple screen is the new format. But also think about, even when we are working, those are the new signals that you're finding in Europe, in some cities. Because watch out, driver, because those people are going to be crossing the street. So people are overloaded also when they are working. So it's not really a great moment to communicate, because it's going to be difficult to get the attention. Because it's difficult to get the attention, as you can imagine, the effect on brands is thousands of impacts. Most of the advertisement, we don't pay attention, overloaded with information, so very difficult to focus, and also addicted to this level of stimuli. So for a marketing campaign to win, for a communication campaign to win, needs to be easy to digest. The message needs to be super easy. We also need more intensity. We need to shout the message and repeat it. And the best example of this is clickbait. Anybody knows what clickbait is? What is? If somebody wants to describe it in the chat, I need some help. Yeah, you cannot ignore. No, something very tempting. YouTube is the best example. Fooling, catchy. Yes, exactly. So this is the ultimate expression on how companies are using dirty tricks to capture your attention. I'm not saying that you should develop a clickbait campaign, not at all. But you should consider this as an inspiration about how the communication works today. And here you have some examples, okay? You won't believe what Emma Roberts has done. McDonald's just admitted the unthinkable. So those things that those companies are getting money when you click on it, and that's because they're using a lot of this short, intense, very appealing message that you want to click. If you are on Twitter and you want to have some fun, you can follow this company, Stop Clickbait. You can follow them because they're making fun of the companies that use clickbait on Twitter. Did you trust what I just said? Did you trust that this battle for attention? I'm sure that many of you are not sure, because today we do not trust easily. The consumers, we are having very serious trust problems, because you can imagine, we trust less in big companies. You trust less Volkswagen. You trust less top pharma companies. You trust less Procter & Gamble. What about the media? Do you trust the media? You know, fake news. This has changed big time. We don't trust a lot communication and the press and the TV stations. So do you think we trust business leaders? Not really. This global survey was showing that business leaders was almost as bad as government ministers and politicians in general, globally. And if you think about India, you are not doing so bad, actually. No, in India, business leaders are not seen as terrible in terms of trust. But there is a trend, more and more, we don't trust business leaders. Yeah, people are saying that, you see, I'm not trusting anything, not the politicians. There's a lot of people saying they don't trust anybody. So who do we trust? Who do you trust? Yourself, that depends on your personality. Personal, hey, friends, beautiful, thanks Altamash. Friends and family are always, some religious people also, doctors, parents, friends and family are always strong. You have a strong trust of them. If somebody tells, if a very good friend of you tells you, you need to go and try this new restaurant, we go. Family, yes, we trust our brothers and sisters and our parents. We trust them. We trust you all. Thanks a lot for that. But most of you will still do not trust academics, okay? I'm going to show you, on top of many of the things that you're saying, by the way, amazing things, eh? You trust these people. ChatGPT. That's a good one. You trust those people. Do you know who they are? Yes, academics. Many of you will not have a strong trust in academics. You might not be knowing who are those people, but you trust them. Do you know how you trust them? When they write rates and reviews. Every time you on Google see those stars, or in Amazon, or in the different marketplaces, every time that you evaluate the opinions and rates of the people, exactly, that has a huge impact in decisions. So you're trusting people you don't know, which gives their opinion on companies. So some research shows that this is already the second most important factor. And in some categories, it's even more important than price. So if I want to go to Delhi I need to sleep next to the airport, will I book this hotel? Well, I'm going to check the prices, the location, and then I'm going to read all those comments. Do you know Arina? Do you know Amit? Do you know Ravi? You don't, but you trust them. This is extremely important for marketing, okay? You are taking a lot of choices based on what those people say. And this is extremely important because if you're having 9 amazing reviews of the hotel, but 1 negative, do you know what you're going to be doing? 9 amazing reviews, 1 negative. Yes. What do you do? This is a bias, no? And psychologists and behavioral science are showing that. We have, this is called a kind of a negative bias, no? We are going to be focusing on gathering the negative information more. And by the way, some of you are saying we don't trust, those could be fake reviews. And that's why today they are credible. In the future, we don't know. I cannot say that in the future people will be trusting those reviews, but today they are. And actually 80% of the people will reevaluate their decision just after reading a negative review. So that's why this is so important. The third advice to develop a successful strategy is about content. What you tell in your marketing communication is extremely important because very often brands are talking a lot about themselves, okay? And you tell all the products that you're selling, where you can buy the products, claims about the product. But you need to be careful because the consumers are very busy. Your target group, it's super busy and doesn't want to pay a lot of attention. So you need to develop very good content. This is an example of good content. Chanel makeup. Chanel makeup is not describing all the products they are having. It's not telling you you can buy this makeup and this and that. What they are sharing is, hey, how to get the smoky eye effect. Okay, how to get the application you want, the effect you want with the new base skincare product. So how to get the final result. That's kind of what the consumers and our target audience is expecting. So don't focus on your communication on the brand. Focus about the unmet needs, how you can help them and facilitate it by the brand. And I have some other examples. The next advice is about interactivity. Like this class, we learn more when there is interaction. Brands impact much more when there is interaction. How can you make your marketing activities integrated? How can you make content communication so that it's interactive? Well, look at, and this is also called co-creation. Think about this marketing campaign from M&M's. Which is your favorite flavor? Crunchy raspberry, crunchy mint, or crunchy espresso? vote the same way as you were voting today at the beginning of this class. People might be vote and sharing their perspective in an interactive way with the company. This is a great marketing campaign. And the best is Starbucks. Some years ago, Starbucks launched My Starbucks Idea and got 47,000 of coffee ideas. Okay, apart from many other things. Again, interactivity, a great way of impacting consumers. If you want to know the secret of interactive, is that it's proactive. You are going there to this page of Starbucks to share your idea. It's very different than receiving a message on when you are online from Starbucks. Okay, you go there, and that changes totally how you interact with the company and the brand. My next trend, and we are getting to the end, it's about immediacy. We are impatient. Okay, your target consumers in India are impatient. We want things now. We want things fast. We don't want to wait. So we are not having IT issues. Don't worry. I'm asking, what happens when you see that? How do you feel when you see this? This loading stuff. Annoyed, irritated, lose interest, you leave the website. Exactly. Because we are impatient. This could be only half a second, 1 second. We don't care. Some neuroscientists made a very funny research, which is testing exactly what happens in our brain when we are exposed to that. The level of stress was similar to watch a horror movie. Your heart rate increases 38%. Okay? 38. So, boom, 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 boom. It's not loading. Oh my God, it's not loading. So this is super important. It's very critical to be fast. This is a departmental store in US. They were launching a new e-commerce platform. Amazing platform, but it was taking half a second to load. Extra half a second. So imagine 1, 2, 3. Those were 3 seconds. So the new e-commerce was taking half a second. Do you know what happened? With a better e-commerce, double-digit sales decline. So be very careful if you are developing in a digital context amazing content. Because what is going to be more important is to make sure that you impact fast, that the page is going super smooth. Because in the moment that you start having any problem there with the new content, the people will quit and the people will leave. Okay? So yes, milliseconds, of course, the reaction time, what is the loading time? And if you are putting an amazing picture, high resolution, which describes beautifully your product, but it's going to impact the loading time in a mobile device, for instance, or with a fiber connection, internet connection, don't do it. Don't do it, because it's better to have fast content than better content. And my last trend is about social conscience. This is the topic of your challenge, okay? You're going to need to work on how to impact social or environmental activities for Procter & Gamble in the challenge. But hey, respecting the environment is not an option anymore, especially for multinationals companies that have a global footprint. It's a must. It's relevant for every single sector. You can see the top companies in India associated for corporate social responsibility, and you can see many different sectors. This is relevant on a global level and on a local level across sectors. You're going to see examples on Patagonia in the case. So in this case, a clothing company, a textile company, how they are doing ESG activities, especially in the environmental, with many of those activities, which are impacting their corporate responsibility. But also we need to think that how consumers are, what consumers are expecting. And we are going to a future where this is, again, entry point. This is a company that for every pair of shoes, they give back 1 pair of shoes to people they need. people that need shoes, no, people that cannot afford them. These are social responsibility, but more and more, the societies and the target consumers are asking for more. And I'm going to talk about this example. I don't know if you know this guy. I don't know if you know this American football player. He's Colin Kaepernick. And he's very famous because many years ago, he decided to protest against police brutality with Afro-Americans in US by kneeling when the national anthem was playing in the NFL, in the National Football, American Football League. I don't know if you know the American culture, but it's super respectful of their symbols as a nation. So the flag, the national anthem, they are super respectful. So many Americans consider this act as not respecting the American values. And do you know what happened? This guy didn't play again. They were challenging this guy and he was fired. And this happened many years ago, before Black Lives Matter, before all those social movements in America. The amazing thing about this example is that this company, Nike, decided to launch this campaign. Believe in something, even if it means sacrificing everything. And this was amazing because I've been 20 years working in American multinational companies. And we always try to avoid scandals, avoid PR crises. We want not to be associated with that kind of problems. We want to manage those, to stay away. And this company decided to jump into the problem. They are the sponsors of the team, the personal sponsors, and they decided to launch this marketing campaign. What happened next? This was a huge risk, as you can imagine. Yes, and there was a lot of controversy, as some of you are pointing in the chat. So what happened next is this. People were sharing the social media their anger with the brand because of not respecting the American values. And they were burning shoes and cutting the socks and asking for boycott. Don't buy those products. And do you know what happened next? What happened next is that many other people from the other side started to praise Nike. They said that they never been so proud of this brand. The celebrities were jumping in. There was a huge backlash of people supporting Nike for taking a position. And this is my last point. The sales of Nike went up significantly. Why? Well, there was a huge risk for sure. And entering one of these controversial topics is a high risk for companies and a super high risk marketing activity. But remember that the trend number one, battle for attention. When this happened, everybody was talking about Nike. Everybody was discussing in US, discussing about what they're doing. So they got the attention again in a super smart way, and everybody was discussing. On midterm, the stock price was increasing versus competition, versus benchmarks. So this could be the future of some of those social activities, which is the companies will be asking for have a position in specific topics. And in some cases, those positions are going to be politically difficult. I'm going to ask you to search after this class for a Gillette advertisement that is called Toxic Masculinity, okay? And we will be sharing the link later on as needed. So this ad from Gillette was also talking a controversial topic, and boys will be boys, no? This kind of male way of doing things. Well, we have some people that participate in events there. This was a very controversial topic, and the net effect of the campaign was negative. They didn't manage to help sales nor brand image. So they lost because those high-risk situations are very difficult to control. And again, this is the new reality. You have Zelensky, president of Ukraine, asking companies not to sell in Russia. I work in Procter & Gamble. I work in Johnson & Johnson. Johnson & Johnson makes pharma products. You can imagine how difficult it is to take the decision not to sell pharma products to Russian people that are sick. Of course, there's an aggression to Ukraine and there needs to find ways. But in the past, this was about the governments. But now Zelensky was asking the companies to take a position. And again, I don't know if you are fans of soccer, but hey, look what happened in the latest World Cup, no? In Middle East, Qatar. Many of the singers refused to play there because of ethical considerations. So this is going to be the future of social activities. This is going to be the future. Brands will need to have a position. It's not today. Today, you don't need to go and put Procter & Gamble in a high controversial in your marketing campaign. But I want to share this because it's the future of what is coming for companies. And that was a short masterclass. Normally, this is longer, but for the agenda today, we got half an hour. And I think that those were the topics that we wanted to talk. So first, give you a little bit of hints about what is marketing, and then share some of the key tips on how to get a successful strategy, especially in this context, which is super uncertain. So, would you be interested in participating in the challenge? Would you like to know more about how to help and guide P&G? So we are going to ask you to work in small groups and to propose to P&G a social or environmental marketing activity for India. The company wants to improve the awareness of their sustainability actions and the corporate image for India. And you're having a small budget. The budget is not super important. It's just to give you a reference point, okay? So you cannot go and put a massive TV advertisement in all the outdoor campaign. So it's a kind of control activity, okay? 30 approx. Again, small groups or individually, you might want to select one of those brands from Procter & Gamble. You might know some of those. You might also want to work with a corporate Procter & Gamble brand. That's up to you. On the right, you can see what is the work that P&G is doing in India on the community, on equality and inclusion, and on the environmental. So maybe you want to use that activities to launch a marketing campaign, to explain them, to maximize them, or maybe you want to do some new things. That's up to you. So I just wanted to put as background some of the things that the company is doing. And then in some weeks, you will need to be presenting in 4 or 5 slides and in 2 minutes video your marketing proposal. Those are things that you might want to consider. Inside, the consumer idea, why this is relevant for your audience. Target, who is your audience? The key message, what you're going to be saying. And then if you want to tell us which vehicles you're going to use, is it in Google? Is it in outdoors, physical outdoors? Is it on social media? Which social media? Is it on YouTube? Tell us. And if you want to show any example of visuals, more than welcome. Who's going to win? Well, we're going to look about original and creative ideas, also realistic, so that can be used, so that makes sense, that it could be used in business. And also because you're going to be, the finalists will be presenting them, we're going to evaluate also the flow, the structure, and how you present. We have prepared a briefing document together with our seed partners, and that information would be available after this masterclass. And as I said, you'll have some days to work on that until February the 20th. Finalists will be sharing in an online session their proposals on the 7th of March. And as we said before, the winner will get a scholarship for the summer school program, and also the runners-up, those finalists, will be getting some help in the tuition, a scholarship for attending some of those master programs, where we might see again in Madrid, hopefully. There are some questions related to questions about not living in India. I think that's this is to register. So the QR code, again, it will be shared after this session because you have registered to the session. So you will get this information. And also, we have some time now for all the questions. And for that, I'm going to be asking the help of Sid, the help of the IE team in India, and the help of marketing team from IE, Monica, to be able to, to share and guide all the questions. I will put the QR code there as requested by someone in the chat. Okay, so how can I join a team? We are not assigning teams. Eh? You need to find somebody to do it with you, or you can do it on your own.
That's right. Just to reiterate, you can participate individually or in teams of two itself. I've also put this QR code, which has a link. I've put that link in the chat. So go through the chat. To answer your question about if this is only for India, we can have participants from all over the world, but the scholarship or the winners will only be coming from India. So if you're not in India and you have come for the session, firstly, thank you so much for doing so. But if you are interested in still participating and wanting to get this solution to this case competition shared with Professor Jaime, you can feel free to do so. But unfortunately, the winners or the scholarships will be only awarded to candidates who are coming in from India. There are some questions coming in. Most of these questions will be answered in a briefing document that we will share. What I can request you to do is, if you're interested in participating in this challenge, fill this link that's there in the chat and also scan this QR code. It's very small, it's very simple, just asking for some interest from your end, your name, number, etc. And you don't need really to find someone from within this. You can ask some of your friends also who are not who've not come to this session, but are still interested maybe in studying a master's program in Europe. That would certainly be something that I would recommend for you to do so. Is there any age restrictions? Namita, do you want to share something about age restrictions, etc.?
No, there are no age restrictions to do the program, but to do the session. But however, for the summer school, we do have people who can be a maximum of 2 years of experience post their graduation. For the master's program scholarship, there's no issue with any of the programs, so there's no age restrictions over there. Yep.
Great. If you have more questions, please keep the questions coming in not in the chat, in the Q&A tab, so that we can look at what questions are coming in. Yash Jangdale is asking who will form teams. You will form team yourself. Again, just to reiterate, you can participate individually or in teams of two. You need not find someone who is from here itself. If you have a friend, your partner, etc., who is interested in participating with you, please feel free to ask any of them. So that's done. Will the team be assigned? Moksha, we've answered that question. Please have the questions keep coming in the Q&A tab and not the chat box, please. Eligibility, the form that you have has the eligibility, so you can feel free to look at that there. Students or postgraduate, Namita just answered the question of if you are currently pursuing your undergraduate education or you've recently graduated, then you can certainly apply and participate in this case competition. Chaitanya is asking, and this is for Professor Jaime, does participation alone put us at any disadvantage? Any thoughts on
No. Just as mentioned, we are gonna evaluate the creativity, the actionability, and the flow of the proposal. So we might have one solo rider winner.
Great. I don't think there's any difference between if you're participating individually or in teams of two. Namita, Varun has a question. Will both the individuals in the team get a scholarship if a team of two wins?
That's correct. Yes.
Okay. Maximum number, Moksha, is also 2. Great. I think we've gotten quite a few people that have asked certain questions. if you have questions that are coming along, if you need some more information about this case competition, we have a guide prepared. On that link itself, that you will either scan your QR code or check the chat and look at the link there, you will find there is a briefing document. There's a link within that link also, which is a briefing document about everything about the case. It has some examples, it has what the challenge is, it has how you should present. Just remember, you are supposed to submit two things. One is a 5-slide. Again, I'm going to say this again, since this is also being recorded on YouTube. There is a 5-slide presentation that you have to submit. Only 5 slides, not 6. Then just 5-slide, maximum 5-slide presentations, and a maximum 2-minute video. Now, in that video, all you need to do is summarize. All you need to do is just basically summarize what the solution is, that is also part of your 5-slide video. We are going to judge both the things. One is the presentation and the other one is the video. So I hope that is clear, and we request you to do that. The deadline to do that is 20th Feb. So you've got 11 days. I'm going to close this one right now because it's already about 8:30 p.m. here in India. So you've got about 10 days to think, look at all the content that's there. Right tomorrow, to everyone who is watching this or who has registered for this session, we are going to share with you a WhatsApp message and an email on your registered email address and on your registered WhatsApp number with all the information about this particular case competition. So the questions are still coming in the Q&A tab, and I'm still going to look at some of those questions that are coming there. Vinny's asking what kind of scholarships are available for the masters. There is a tuition fee discount that's available for the masters. So that is, what the answer to the question is, but it's only for masters programs, not for undergraduate. The winner of this competition gets 100% scholarship to the IE summer school, right? To the IE summer school. So that's what's currently going on. Advay is asking, does it cover only tuition fee or the summer program or all expenses? The summer school, it will cover only the tuition fee, 100% of the tuition fee. The accommodation and the food expenses will be borne by you, but the flight expenses also will be taken care. So not by IE, but by the Seed Global Education team. So we are going to sponsor your flights if you win the case competition. We're not going to be sponsoring your accommodation, which is, we can share approximately how much it costs if you reach the top 5 finalists. Please remember that top 5 teams will only qualify. So a lot of you are interested, which is great to see. 2 things you need to keep in mind: that the submission deadline is the 20th of February. So get started on that right this evening itself. You have already all the information. The link is there. I'm also going to quickly share just a link to the overall details of the case challenge. I'm sharing that in the chat right now. So what do you have to do in the case challenge is also there. The submission link, Mohammed, we will share slightly later, but we will get in touch with you with the submission link. If you fill that particular form of interest, all of you will receive the submission link. And my email address is also mentioned, that if you face any troubles, feel free to write an email to me on sharang@seedglobaleducation.com. I'm putting that email in the chat box right now. And you can reach out to me if you have any concerns, if the submission's not working, any problems, we'll be happy to guide you. I'm going to leave the floor open now to Namita, to Monica. If you have any points that maybe I have missed out, Professor Jaime has missed out, you can just quickly share a little bit of that.
Well, I'm going to take one question from Farsana. Is the marketing for P&G or sub-brands like Olay? It's up to you to decide. You might want to use a corporate P&G marketing activity, company-wise, or maybe you want to select any of the brands from P&G.
Great. Thank you so much for that. Namita, any more things to add? Monica, any more things?
Hi everyone. Yes, of course. Well, thank you for being here and participating in our challenge. And I just wanted to mention that on top of the summer course, there are many masters available. So we encourage you to visit our webpage at IE University and check them all. In this case, you are now having a look at the marketing masters, but we also have in other in other fields of knowledge, such as architecture, business, law, international relations, etc. And if you have any questions, please feel free and reach out to Namita or to me, and we will be happy to answer all your questions.
A lot of you are still asking the question about the eligibility for the summer school program and for the scholarship. Just to clarify that again, summer school is open for all undergrad students, whether you're in your first year, second year, third year, final year, and also to those who have up to 2 years of experience post their graduation. Right, so please don't hesitate. Even if you've done your post-graduation, you're eligible to apply for that summer school. So don't hesitate to do that. With regards to the scholarship, like I mentioned, the master's program is open to all, everyone. Doesn't matter whether you have experience or you don't have experience. It is an open, you can openly apply to those. And for that, you get 20% scholarship upon application. There was a question in the chat which asked about whether I need to apply for the program and also apply for the competition. You are welcome to do so. Would be more than happy if you want to put in your application as well as apply for, participate in the competition with this regard, but it's not mandated. All right. So you consider applying for them even post the competition. So choice is yours, but of course we will be sharing more details about the scholarship and about the master's program with the email that we will be sending to you about how to participate in the competition. So you have more details and insights on what IE has to offer to you in terms of the program.
Great. Thank you so much, Namita, for also sharing that. So finally, I think we have covered most of the questions. I know you might still have a lot of questions in your mind, but feel free to write me an email. I've already put my email in the chat. It's sharang@seedglobaleducation.com. You also have that email listed in that link that I have mentioned where you filled in your name, mobile number. We already have about 90 plus of you who have showcased your interest in participating in this business case competition. So thank you so much for doing that. But this is not your final submission. Your final submission is still 10 days away, where you need to again remind you to submit a presentation and a link to that. So I think that covers everything that we wanted to speak about today. Thank you so much. I know people are still exchanging some of their contact information to each other in the chat. So if you found a partner to work on this particular assignment from this masterclass, you've also made a new friend from a different part of the country or from a different part of the world. So thanks so much for doing that. I want to take this opportunity for, yes, we will also be sharing the live stream. We've recorded this video on YouTube. So if you've missed something, come in late. If you want to share that video link with a friend who might be interested but couldn't join today, that's absolutely fine. We will be sharing all that material to you by tomorrow itself. I want to take this opportunity to thank Miss Monica, who's joined us all the way from Madrid, Namita, who has joined us from Kuala Lumpur. She's in Malaysia right now. Professor Jaime from Madrid as well. Thank you so much for taking out time and taking us through such an insightful masterclass like around marketing and consumer behavior as well. And for more importantly, for launching this wonderful case competition. We hope that a lot of you, about 225 plus of you are still here. We hope that a lot of you register and submit this entry to the masterclass. We want as many people to submit as possible, and we wish you all the very best to do that. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much, Namita. Thank you, Monica. Thank you, Professor Jaime. We'll be in touch. If you have any questions, write us an email. We will be, responding to you very soon. Thank you so much. Maximum
Good
2
luck.
people. Sorry. Yeah.
Good
luck.
luck.
Thank you.
Thank you
Bye
so
bye.
much.
Thanks
Bye-bye.
a lot.
Bye-bye. Thank you.